All right, bang, bang. Today is Monday. It is March 28th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. It's Snake Draft Monday. Today's draft will be the Awkward Situations Draft, and joining us is none other than Tommy Smoke Scabelli. Tom, welcome to the show.
Hey, I think it's a little weird you guys asked me for this one. I think you might have the wrong guy, but nonetheless, always great to be on a Dog Walk draft.
Yeah, now I'll ask your question.
Okay, so off the top, Tommy, the power moves draft, that went really well. Do you feel slighted that we asked you to be the awkward guest?
No, honestly, I feel honored. As much as I joked just now, awkward. Being the king of awkward, I'm fine with that. You gotta have some lane that you dominate. So if mine is being awkward and making people uncomfortable in social situations, that's fine. I'll own that. I'll wear that badge.
You are like the Mozart of awkwardness. Like that's exactly. Like when I walked in and said, "You got the perfect guest for this one. It's gonna be great."
Was it? Can I have a question for Eddie? Was it? Did you think of awkward? Did you think of the topic and then me, or did you think of me and then the topic?
So I have a running list of snake draft topics, and I've always had awkward situations. I've always been staring at you, and no bullshit. Whenever I stare at it, your face pops in my brain as well. So
number one choice for awkward.
The topic came first, but it was pretty much like your face right next to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Earmarked for you, Dave. Yes.
I got a question. For Tommy, you just wear awkward on your sleeve for the most part. If you're so self-aware that you're just the king of awkward, does that get rid of all the awkwardness?
I think it helps a little bit. I think that I'm comfortable in my awkwardness and I embraced it.
That's what I'm saying. If you're comfortable being awkward, I think that makes it not awkward.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys would disagree, but I think that I'm capable of holding a conversation with a person in a way that's maybe not awkward. Do you disagree? That's awkward for me to ask.
No, I've had good conversations with you, Tommy. I think you're an easy guy to talk to. I like talking baseball with you and catching up generally.
I would say I more find myself in a lot of awkward situations. I sort of seem to be a magnet for it.
Yeah, if you could, Harry, if we could pull that clip of you clapping on the Yankees live stream.
Hey, from the strike coming into it. I like being a part of things.
You have a weak mind that goes into anything.
Kevin Costner.
Oh, that's a ball. See?
You just one of those things. The certain mannerisms exude awkwardness.
I don't have great control of my motor function, so my body does move in an awkward way for sure. And I look awkward, kind of lanky and stuff. So yeah, I won't deny my awkwardness, but if in a way that makes me less awkward, then I guess it's kind of a conundrum.
Fair. All right. Congratulations, White Sox Dave. I believe you won the college basketball coaches draft.
I mean, so the week before was the Shrek draft, and I had a little mental note that I made for whatever the draft is going to be following the Shrek draft. That was the 2000 to 2009 comedy draft. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take straight chalk. I'm going to go with the best of the best of the best and not think outside the box. And if I win, I win. And I did. I was never in my life so confident, objectively confident, that I was going to win a draft other than the reality TV show draft, which I got voted off. I got Kim Kardashian in the fourth round of that draft and voted off the poll. But Lemmings, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take chalk. And I did, and I won.
Do you feel good about it?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, congratulations, Dave.
That was
nice win, Dave.
That was a little... You can't really get in trouble, if that's the right phrase, for drafting chalk in that specific draft.
That specific topic, yes.
Great win.
Okay, let's do order here. Tommy, intern Lance has the number 1 through 5 behind his back. What number is it?
3.
No.
It's not 3, Carl.
4.
No.
2.
No.
1.
No.
5. Yeah. Fuck yeah, I'm taking number 1 overall pick. I want
I don't think
number
I've
one.
ever won a coin flip when I've had a coin flip chance.
I
don't think I ever
is
had.
You think so?
I think there's a 1-1.
I hope I'm hope we're on the same page. then.
There's one. I was talking to Chief. I think there's one that's 1-1.
All right, 1 through 4, Tommy.
I don't remember having that conversation.
You said you. I'm like
2.
Oh.
kind of did.
It is 2, Tommy. It is 2.
Okay. I'll
Which?
take the second pick.
Second pick. All right, 1 through 3, Carl.
1. Yeah. I'll take the third pick.
All right, we're going right down the row. Right down the row, Chief.
2.
1. I'll take 5, I guess.
Oh, way to break it up, bro.
Cool.
All right, so Chief.
Those aren't flip flops.
It's-
Those are full sandals, dude.
It's
What,
Ed,
Chief?
Tom.
They're slides.
So the order is Eddie, Tommy, Carl, Chief, White Sox, Dave.
I did not want to be fourth today.
You did not want to be fourth. Why is that?
I wanted 1 because I think there's a clear one, and then I think it's a place.
Really?
Yeah, I do. We'll see.
I feel
We'll
like
see.
this one is so broad. Like, there's so many different things you could have.
Yeah, but we'll see how it plays out. But I do think there's one, and and after that, I think it's just like the board's open, like you kind of like
All
you
right.
said.
I'm struggling right now
How?
because we have an ad read, and I want to blow a pick, but I can't do it. Or should I blow a pick?
Do we have to do the ad read right now?
No, because someone might draft it, so we'll save the ad read. Good
Okay.
call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, I
Is
mean,
I have
that's
now.
okay. So that's now we got to talk about. Do we do this now or later? Is anybody know the difference between awkward and embarrassing, or are we just lumping all this?
See
together?
that's
tough.
Major fine
I think
line
an
you gotta
awkward
draw.
situation.
Well,
Awkward is like
embarrassed.
what leads to the embarrassment. I
Yes,
feel
it
like.
could be embarrassing. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
yeah. This is kind of like the douchebag asshole
Correct.
debate again.
Right.
but
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and for people like, douchebag moves, like these are fun. So if you got any more suggestions for these, DM the Dog Walk Barstool account on Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, we
you
like
know?
move draft. I
Yeah,
like moves.
It's cool. It's cool.
If you want to just blow up Danny J. Conrad personally, you can do that too.
No, he won't funnel them to me, so don't do that. Well, he will if I tell him to. All right, so let's just kick it off here. I have number 1 overall pick. I'm up. And I hate when people say that. You think there's an obvious number 1 because that makes me think like I'm not on the same wavelength.
Right.
Or you might
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
I'm not going to overthink it, but here's my problem with this right now. There is a different variation of this that I'm about to draft, but I'm going to draft the variation that I think is the most awkward.
Okay.
In my opinion, the most awkward thing to do is when you're talking to someone and maybe the conversation is not, you're texting someone, the conversation is not going the way you think it is. And you screenshot your convo. You mean to send the convo to someone else, but you send it directly back to them.
That's really bad.
that
is
was my
the
number
worst.
1. Number 1 by
That
far.
is the worst. You're like, and then like, because there's no covering your tracks on that.
Nope.
Why would you screenshot a convo and send it right back to me? You could send something else and be like, oh, sorry, wrong text. But for that, you can't cover
There's
your tracks.
nothing.
So, gentlemen, you must not follow Mrs. Publicity on TikTok because she recently had a hack for this about how if you do this by accident, you follow up and say, just testing if my connection is working, my texts aren't going through. Did you get this picture?
Ooh.
Kind of a way out of it.
Yeah, that's a great lie. That
Kind
is
of,
a
but if the
great lie.
conversation is any type of disagreement, like
Yeah.
that has to be a
Right.
perfect conversation for that to get by.
That's like, I don't need like.
But usually when you screenshot it, you follow it up with some kind of text. Okay. So,
Yeah, true.
so if you take the screenshot and send, it's usually like the picture image is in the little bubble. Then you fill in what you're going to say about it, and then you hit send so that both the message and the picture go at the same time.
Yes.
There's no getting out of that.
This
you
is-
are fucked. You might as well throw your phone out the window.
Yes, you're
This
fucked.
is what I've done, and we've all. Have you
This
been
should
in
be-
this situation?
Well, explain. I don't know the situation.
No, you're.
Oh, of course, of
Yeah,
course, of
I
course.
have.
Everyone
Have you?
has. Everyone
Everybody has.
Everybody's done
I've
this.
immediately gone and just typed in a million random letters and just kept hitting send and been like, "Sorry, pocket dial." That's what I've done.
That's actually, but like, what
But,
if you have
like,
the
if you-
message though?
like-
the corresponding message. Like, look at this.
Yes.
Let's just say you send the screenshot with, "Look at this asshole." You still
Okay,
can't get
yeah.
out of that.
No,
with, like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, in that case, you're fucked. But if you send the picture first, then that's what I would do. That's what I have done.
Yeah,
I think another awkward version of this too is like sort of what happened to Mackenzie and Tico a few weeks ago, where Tico was on Michelangelo's phone and she sees a text that Mackenzie sent her about him. I had that happen once in high school. I was texting my friend about this other kid who was right next to us, and I was just like, this kid is so annoying or whatever, and he happened to be on my friend's phone and saw it pop up. And I had to be like, oh, I knew you were on the phone. Like it was a joke. Like that's also a very awkward,
awful situation.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. Horrible.
Awful. So yeah, there's no getting away from it because Dave, like, that's like publicity, and like even Dave, like, sure that those are like solutions,
They're
but those
Hail
aren't
Marys.
great. Yeah,
they're Hail Marys.
Great way to put it. They're Hail Marys.
Yeah, it's not a good solution. It's a attempt at a solution.
That's like, how stupid do I think the person I'm talking
Yeah,
shit
right.
about
Yeah.
is? That's what that is.
Yes.
Will they fall for this answer?
God, it's the worst. That feeling, and right when you see
I'm
it
like
sent,
cringing right now.
I know, it's
just thinking
so
about
awkward, dude. And then oof.
That was my clear cut Head and Shoulders 1-1.
Was that your 1-1?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But that one
Is a worthy
good
1-1.
first round pick for sure.
All right. Tommy, you are up.
Okay, so this is tough because I have about 25 written down, and like I have a mix of ones that are a little more chalky, like good for a graphic when the public, and ones that are more specific, where maybe I think they're a little more personal. So, but I'm going to start with a chalk one that is personal because it happened to me. Thinking someone is saying hi to you when they're actually saying hi to the person behind you. Specifically, they're talking about how much, oh my God, I love your TikToks. And you say, oh my God, me, thank you so much. And they happen to be talking to a person that's right behind you who also works there and does TikToks. And this person is a big TikTok star. So I will say that specifically is my 1v2.
Please, Harry, please insert that clip.
No way. I see your TikToks all the time. Me? No, I'm so excited.
Thank you. That was
That
was
was
tough.
so funny, Tommy.
It was awkward.
See, you're just an awkward guy. Like, if that happened to me, I would have just
no,
rubbed-
Dave,
No.
that's bro. If someone,
You've seen that clip, right?
I think I have, yeah.
Okay.
if someone came into the office and they were like, say Ken Rosenthal, and they came up and they're like, yo, dude, I didn't know you worked here. I love your baseball takes. And you're like, oh, dude, you're flat. Because like Tommy does TikTok. He likes the social world. And then Carl was behind you and then they were talking to him. You would be like, fuck. Like, you're like, because you would get excited.
But I would have just rolled with it though. That's like, I don't think that's even on the same stratosphere. Like, I could laugh at myself in that situation and roll with the punches. The wrong text thing, like that's like you're dead.
That's also an extreme example. Like that's an extreme example specific, but you could be walking down the street, someone says hi to you, you wave back at them, they're actually waving to the person.
I've done it in the
I do
grocery
think
store a few times to random people.
I feel like
Yeah.
this has happened to me more since starting this job than the rest of my life combined, because I feel like people, like, I never want to be rude to like somebody who listens to our podcast.
Right.
So
Yep.
if I think they're talking to me, I'll be like, hey, what's up? And then they're like 9 times out of 10, they don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
So they're just like, well, hi, I'm
Yes.
talking to this fucking guy.
Yes.
I was like, oh shit. And then you just have to walk away. It's
Yeah.
bad.
Put your head down and hope nobody saw it.
It's a very good point, though. This situation has kind of changed for us where it's like, I don't know how many have been on accident because I just say hi to everyone now. Just like, hey, what's up, man? You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of, but I agree. It's
Actually,
it's an awkward situation.
to kind of combine dog walk snake drafts yesterday. We had like a 30-minute window where I could walk my dog because he wouldn't go out in the rain. The dog took a shit about maybe a half block from my house, was out of bags, was walking to the house, and still he was like, White Sox, Dave, you live over here? Or something. So I talked to him for a minute. I'm like, please God, please God, please God, please God, don't let him see I didn't pick up the dog shit. And I swear to Christ, I went and picked up the dog shit.
believe you, Dave.
Swears to Christ.
But it was like, it would have been awkward.
Yeah, it's draftable. It's pretty harmless though, right? Like it's like like the first one, like you said.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
But it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. There's less
not-
doom.
well-
There's less doom with
Yes.
Tommy's pick,
Yes.
but a good pick.
Yeah,
And the
I think
nice
it's
thing
more
about that is
awkward
it's-
than embarrassing. Unless it's my case where it was embarrassing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, more
Yeah.
awkward than embarrassing. What do you say?
It's just you. You're the only person who knows it.
Yeah.
You're the one who you put your hand right back in the pocket.
So,
I wasn't really waiting.
Yeah. So I mean, it definitely draft. Maybe could have went a little later, but it's
No, it's good. It's
yeah.
very good. It's very good.
Carl, you're up.
I'm gonna get weirder later in this draft. So up front, I'm gonna take something I think maybe these two guys are peeking at, and maybe it's not even that awkward. I think it's not like the impact of this isn't that awkward, but it happens just like so much to guys all the time, and it's like the fist pump handshake. Like, what are you doing when you meet somebody? And it's you're going up to somebody and they put their hand out, and it's just like, and then the handshake's never good. You should always default back to the handshake, and then the handshake's weak and it's limp, and you're just like, oh, this is just so bad and awkward.
That's another pandemic one that I feel like has really increased because some people, like the germaphobe people, who are like they want to go pounds became way more socially acceptable because people weren't touching hands.
The handshake fist bump mix up.
Yeah, I think you
yeah,
can, I
that's
think
the way
you
to
can
put it.
throw the hug into that too.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so you,
just,
you know, like
yeah.
I'm always a handshake person, but if someone comes in with a hug and you're with a handshake, then it's like, well, then we're not really nearly as close as what we, you know.
I mean, and
it's
So,
very difficult
yeah.
to figure
And
out
it
how to
go-
greet someone today.
it goes without saying that when it comes to a girl, it's just 1,000% worse.
Oh, that's
yeah.
How about a girl you work with and you're like, just see them for the first time in 6 months, and it's like handshake, fake hug, real hug, just stand at a distance. Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another thing I'm specifically very awkward at. Whenever I've met like a Yankee or something for an interview, it's like I don't know how to dap.
You
I'm
go
not good
hug,
at
don't you?
dapping. Like, yeah, when do you release? Are we going dap into hug? I prefer just a handshake. It's cleaner. It looks awkward when I do it. And are we considering left hanging a part of this? Because I've been left hanging many a times on streams. Blake Griffin one time left me hanging live on a stream. I could send you that clip too.
That'd be
I've been
great.
left hanging on video, maybe more than any person in America.
I feel like we could do a social clip that's just best of Tommy, like all your moments.
Awkward
That
situations.
would be an
Still on the board to me.
Yeah.
What Tommy just said. That's a
Sure.
great pick. Bo.
Yeah. Yeah, the handshake, fist, and yeah, the hug is, especially with the female, is definitely it's definitely tough, man. What is it we got on stool scenes when Rio was here in White Sox Dave? Like he doesn't know.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
No,
Like,
that's somebody I would stand
yeah,
from
he
a
like went
distance
from a
and wave
fist
at.
bump. You know what I mean? And then it was just really funny.
that I forgot that happened. That did
Yeah.
happen. No, I've never really talked to Rhea too much, but she was in here. Were they had a live show here?
Yeah.
It was at Joe's on Weed, I think.
It's like last fall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe about 6 or 7 months ago. And I walked in the office. There's Rhea. I'm like, hey, Rhea, what's up? Like, gave her a fist bump. She's like, what? I don't get a hug or whatever she said.
It's better when there's people call it out in the moment.
Yeah,
And, like,
definitely,
that's what cuts you.
definitely.
And she did this. She
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, Dave, like I was gonna give you a hug," you know. And he's like, "Oh, all right, you know." Whatever.
She made it less awkward.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Maybe.
She made it less awkward when.
I also had an awkward introduction with her that same day, like maybe literally like 35 seconds before, because I got out of the Uber at the office right as she was coming in. So I was like, "Oh, hi."
Yeah.
And it like same sort of thing, just wasn't on camera. Felt very lucky about that.
I've also gotten like shamed for shaking a girl's hand before, and it's like they were like they
I
thought
think
I was weird for
in a
doing
I
that.
think it's
business
more
situation-
respectful.
In a business situation, it's absolutely that's how you do it, I think.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
This
I think
was just-
I'll
You shake
hug-
the fingers or the hand, Ed?
Hand.
Shake my hand.
Yeah.
Don't shake her fingers. That's a thing though. Like when you do, you get
gotta
excited,
lock,
you grab.
like-
Yeah, get the webs.
Yeah, the web or whatever.
Join webs.
Good pick, Chief.
This is like in that little middle zone between awkward and embarrassing, but it's both. So I'm gonna say asking someone for a plunger. So if that to me, I think is like the most awkward, embarrassing situation. So if you're at somebody's house and you absolutely have to go and you clog it, been there, like, and they don't have one
man.
like in the bathroom, but so you have to like you rummage around and then you just like have to bite the bullet and be like, hey man, like you got a plunger.
When you see that water starting to rise,
Yeah.
It is the. Oh, I'd rather die. I would rather die. Oh my God, I would rather
There's
die.
something that happens before you see. It's like the handle doesn't catch right. You feel it. Like there's this moment when you're flushing. You're like, nope, it's not. And then
Every
it's-
single time You look down into the toilet before you flush, and you're like, I don't know if I should flush this one before. Like, but you roll the dice and you see that water. It's like, please don't go over the bowl. Please. It's like, oh man,
That's bad.
I get the
go
heebie-jeebies
before
just
wipe.
thinking about it.
What did you say, Tom?
You gotta do flush before wipe. Like you gotta shit, flush, then wipe, because you can't risk the poop and the toilet paper. together clogged.
That's how you do the away.
The away game?
Right.
The away game.
But
Yeah.
I have not only clogged a toilet, I have overflown one in like a family friend house. First time ever there. I didn't even shit that much, like a bit of your average size dump. And I guess they had plumbing issues, and it not only clogged, like the water rose and literally flooded the entire bathroom. Like I was just in a pool of toilet water in the bathroom using towels to try to clean it up. And I just came out. I was like, I'm sorry.
The first one I remember doing of this was I was maybe 10 or 12 years old. And like the Grim Reaper Halloween costumes, I flooded the toilet, didn't go over the bowl. I went and grabbed the sickle, the plastic fake sickle, and they didn't have a plunger, and I didn't say anything, and I broke the head of the sickle off the stick, and I was using that to plunge.
It worked?
Yeah, it worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just jammed it down the pipes.
It fit down the pipe perfectly.
Yeah.
Because the curvature of the plastic sickle. But yeah, I would have rather died.
Yeah.
Than ask him for a plunger.
It's
That's
so-
a great pick.
So awkward, embarrassing. All right, White Sox Dave, you're up.
Am I up?
You are up.
Chief
Yeah, two picks.
Chief just took that.
I got the draft order wrong then on my thing. What do I want to go with?
We're on the
I'm
fifth
just gonna
pick.
go.
We've all gone.
I had you and Carl mixed up on the thing. I'm gonna go. This one's just easy. Watching a sex scene with your parents.
That was my next pick.
Yep.
Even like today, if I was
yeah.
watching a sex
100
scene with my dad, it's just like awkward silence. One movie that I watched with my dad, Monsters Ball. That's what it was with Billy Bob Thornton and Halle Berry. And I'm 95% sure they were legitimately filming a porno for that one scene. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I might be thinking of Swordfish. so
Yeah,
I
it's
might
an
be
aggressive
thinking of
sex
wrong.
scene.
It's wildly aggressive, and I'm just like sitting there staring ahead. But at the same time, my dad and we both know we're like looking at each other in our peripherals, but we're like focused straight on the sex scene. We just didn't want to like be like, "Yo, look at this," you know?
There's old William Williams and Rex Williams just staring at Halle Berry getting drilled.
Like legitimately drilled.
Nice little boys' night.
Yeah.
Little boys' night in the Williams house.
And it's probably worse for them too, right? Because you still don't know if you should be like, close your eyes, or like, you know what I mean?
right.
It's just like you don't. It's probably worse for them.
Most of us, Tommy, how old are you? This wouldn't count for you, I don't think.
25.
So the first pair
Yeah,
of tits
True
I
Lies.
think I've ever seen was in Titanic
Same.
with my mom in the theaters. That was very awkward.
The True Lies strip scene
never
with
seen that.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
yeah,
that's the
Yeah.
first time I think a lot of people were.
She wasn't naked.
She didn't get
though.
naked, but it was
So
still
many dads
enough.
were like,
Yeah.
"We got to watch True Lies. That's
Yeah.
a good one." Schwartz,
Well,
Tom
it is
Arnold.
a great movie.
It is. It's
It's
in
a
my
perfect action movie.
I'll put it
awesome.
in my top 50 comfortably. But yeah, like she's stripping, and that's a really good scene. So I don't know. Good pick, Dave.
Tommy, you like this one?
Yeah, good pick. This was on my list too. One that comes to mind for me was there's a sex scene in Daredevil. I just love the movie Daredevil between Ben Affleck and Jennifer Gardner. That like I was probably 6, 7 at the time, but like you said, it's still awkward. I watched Animal House with my dad like a few months ago. I'm 25 now. There's a lot of
When
boobs in
Jim
there. Just
Belushi-
every time it's on the screen, just awkward silence. Like
The pillow
you're not gonna
fight
like
scene?
go to your dad like nice rack of tits on this girl, right? Like it's just a weird thing.
In Animal House, we just interviewed Jim Belushi, John Belushi, when he falls back on the ladder. I didn't understand why he fell back on the ladder until I was way older.
Okay.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
You're up again.
This is where I think I hate this fucking situation. It happens to anybody with the dog all the time. Walking the same speed as someone else on the sidewalk as you in the same direction. It's like who's crossing the street, and it's like a fucking standoff. It's like, all right, well, we're like right next to each other. We're not with each other. This is very awkward. And I'm always
That's a
one
good
that's
one.
like, you know what? I'm going to tap out and go to the other side of the street.
I was like walking shoulder to shoulder with
Yeah.
someone. Okay.
Inadvertently, that
Yeah.
you don't know on the sidewalk.
Walking with strangers.
Yeah, right. Would that be it? Walking with strangers?
Walking on the side. This has got to be a longer one.
Walking side by side with stranger.
On a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to use the sidewalk here because that's the point. It's not like I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's very awkward.
You don't want to be like, hey, how's it going? Nice day out.
You either got to fall back or you got to start fucking.
I always fall back, or you can walk for it.
Yeah,
faster.
but you're having like a
Yes,
telepathic standoff. Like,
there's
okay,
internal
who's going to go
dialogue.
fast?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're having a conversation with them without having a conversation with them. Someone always picks up speed. Someone stops. I'm like, Ace, would you fucking just shit right here so they can go forward?
It's also like it's enhanced. It's worse. It's worse when like you like if someone was turning a corner and you guys meet at the right point, rather than if someone was like if the dog was taking a shit and they're standing there and he's done and you guys start at the same time because you could see him coming. But if like someone's turning the block and like you're coming,
Yep.
you know what I
Yep.
mean? And it's just like
Yep.
and you're both thinking the exact same thing.
Synchronized strides.
You're
Yep.
coming out of Aeropostale and that person's walking straight and it's just like,
Yeah.
and then you're in the mall with them.
Now
like-
you're together.
Yeah, now
Where
you're
are we
together.
going next? Yeah.
You know.
And then if you're meeting someone and someone's on the other end of that, it's like, oh, you with this person? It's like,
Yeah,
oh, no,
nope.
we're just stride for stride. Yeah. No, I like that, David. I like that. Good pick. I think everyone's kind of on fire right now.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's
a good pick.
This is the most positive I think this room has ever been. Which is saying something. Chief, you're up.
Someone's card getting declined. I don't even think it matters if it's you or the people. Like if you're splitting a check and they come back and they're like, "Oh, hey, sorry," like to someone at your table, like their card got declined. Then you're like, "Do you want me to just get it? You can Venmo me later." But it's all like they're embarrassed, but you're awkward. And if it's you, like that's terrible. That's like one of the worst feelings ever. But just anyone getting their card declined when you're checking out.
I'm going to throw
brutal.
someone under the bus right now.
Fingers
This
up.
happened to Dante at Catch Steakhouse in New York. When was this? Was this
He's
New
probably
Year's?
got like 14 cards though. You know, like, oh, this one's closed. I can see that guy have, businesses here, business there.
For the company party that got canceled, you still went to. That was the weekend, right?
I believe so. I don't know. It all blends together at this point, but it was like a $2,500 tab. There was like 8 of us.
Yeah, it's just a bad card. It's a diversified guy.
It's I got.
Yeah, I mean, he Venmo'd me immediately, but I'm just busting
A little
his balls,
bush
but-
league for you to call that out.
I mean, Dante.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I said
That's
it's a little bush
Yeah.
league. I said a little bush league, David.
That's happened to me in New York a bunch because for whatever reason, my
Chase, yep.
yeah, my bank is when I travel, they're just like, well,
You don't
this has to-
travel.
if I'm in New York, I have inherently traveled. Carl, shut up. So
I
they
was
will,
joking.
they
I was
will
saying it like I was
awkward,
Chase.
awkward jokes, also awkward.
Talk about awkward guys.
Yeah.
Huh?
I missed that. I don't know
Yeah.
about
So, but anytime you travel, they like shut your card down. So there's like nothing like that could have happened to Dante too.
that. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a mileage thing. or
Yeah.
That
something
was
like
super
that.
weird. I was saying like the bake would call you, Chief, and be like, "You don't travel," but never mind. I'm sorry, I don't want to.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, this
You're
guy,
like, oh,
they
this
got
guy.
tabs on Ryan Brandell. They know Ryan Brandell doesn't travel to New York. That's what I was saying.
That would
I
have-
know you travel to New York because it's our job to go out there.
I had
every
a
now and
buddy
then.
who this happened
Yeah.
to a lot.
This happens to me every time I go to the casinos in the region. And
In Indiana.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got you flagged. Okay, so someone's car getting declined. Scabelli, anything on that one?
You're a poor person after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
you're-
mean, I haven't had it happen, but I think if you're on a date with a girl, that would probably be worst possible of that. Like, being
Yes.
on a date, trying to pick up the bill, being like, I got it, getting it declined. I think that's the worst possible version of that. situation.
Imagine that on a first date too.
Yeah.
Then you're like,
Yeah.
you're out.
There's not going to be a
Doesn't
second
matter how charming you were the last hour and a half. Like you're never seeing that girl again.
And the worst of it's just because your card's in bad shape and it's just like the plastic's folded over and it's like, I swear there's nothing wrong. It's just the thing's a piece of shit.
It
You
always
know?
happens. I swear to God.
exactly. Yeah.
Just
trying to
pull up your
talk-
bank account and be like, look, there's money in here.
one. Yeah.
I swear.
Don't think I'm a poor.
Yeah.
It's like I got paid today. Not that that matters. I have plenty of money in there.
Please, God, go out with me again.
Carl, you are up.
I can't wait to make this pick. Asking a non-pregnant lady when she's due.
Dude, I did not think there was a chance in fucking hell anybody was going to draft this. I've seen it happen.
Really?
I swear to God,
I
I've
did
seen
it in
happen.
fifth grade in my math. I did it in fifth grade in my mathematics teacher. I was like, "Oh, Mrs. Kinsella, when are you due?" And she's like, and it just like you could just, oh my god, I was
Fucking,
like,
how about when was fifth grade for you?
1998, 90.
How about a ricochet shot 24 years later for Mrs. Kinsella, bringing her name back up? What the fuck? Just got to hear the
That
joke
is
all
fucked
over
up.
again.
That is fucked up.
I
Whatever.
cannot believe
I
someone
won't.
else-
I won't out my
decades
as
ago.
badly as I want to. I won't out my elementary school right now. What, Tommy?
I said it's just a reminder of how fat she was 3 decades ago. if she's
Yeah.
watching.
No, I think it might have been. It might have been like a windy day in a flowing dress or something. She's very pretty woman. But no, I did it as a small kid. But it's a weird thing. That's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's like, and at the same time, though, I feel pretty much no sympathy because you should never do this.
Yeah, that's a lesson you really need to learn once you're lucky you learned it in the 5th grade.
Yeah, that's different. That's like you're a kid.
I've never done it.
I've never done it.
Yeah.
Either,
No.
but
You don't ask unless you're 1,000,000,000%. If it's like first trimester, don't risk it.
I feel like Carl probably hadn't had health class at that time, so he's got a free pass. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
it was- I
like,
should have
you
been
don't know.
okay on
Yeah,
that.
you're fine.
This happened to me
It's
at
just
the
not worth the
Warrenville.
risk.
It's not worth the risk. Yes, correct.
Yeah, because also like I don't care when you're due. So
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
But it's just small talk, you know. It's,
Yeah.
You know. Are you good with trimesters, Dave?
No, I can't say I am. I do remember my mom being pregnant with my younger brother. That's like the only thing I can remember about any pregnancy, really.
Didn't your sister just have a baby?
Yeah, but I didn't really see her that entire time,
Oh, okay.
like at all. My military sister, I never saw pregnant, not
Oh, okay.
once. I've only met my niece one time, and she's 3 now.
Well, they live in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
This happened to me at the Warrenville Library. Like, I was driving, I remember. I was in line sending something. I forget what it was. Or not the library, I'm sorry, the post office. And the little teller, she was this little, like, dainty, she was probably about 60 years old, 4 foot, 100 pounds, like, nice older lady. The lady in front of me, the teller asked the lady in front of me, like, oh my God, when do you do? It's like so great. And she's like, I'm not pregnant. This is the second time you've asked me this.
Oh,
And the lady
cereal.
like, oh my God, I'm sorry. She was so embarrassed about it, but I was like, eesh, this is bad. I can't believe someone else had that on there.
well, it's worthy.
it's a good pick.
Good
Definitely.
pick. All right, off the board. Tommy, you're up.
I have someone showing you a video and making you watch it in front of them, and it's just not funny. It's just a bad video, and they're just waiting for your reaction. They're like, oh, check this out. Check out this TikTok. Check out this Twitter video, whatever. And you think they're going to laugh. You think they're going to be cracking up. And then it's just not funny. And you're like, okay, when am I supposed to laugh? Then you're in your head like, what's the appropriate amount of laughs I should give? Is this a point I would laugh at? Just trying to make it seem like it's not a bad video while they just sit there and are so convinced that you're going to like it.
I think that's awkward even when it is a good video. Like,
Yeah,
you
even
watch the
when it
video but it's still like you're watching me watch this. Like, even if it's genuinely funny, it always feels weird.
Right. Especially, it's even more awkward if it's a video of themselves that they're showing you. But I will say I also have a pre-out for this, where if I do it and someone doesn't like it, you just can like kind of condescendingly be like, oh, you just don't get it. Like, you just don't get the video, and then you belittle them and make them think that they're not smart enough for understanding the humor of the video.
You don't get the joke.
Smart.
Yeah. What's the cutoff for showing someone a video?
Like minute 10.
Yeah.
If you don't hook me in the first like 30 seconds, you lost.
Well, and then they're standing there being like, just wait.
Yeah,
It's coming. It's coming. And then it happens. We're like, that was it.
Like, thanks. That was
Because
good.
that's like, you want to talk about walking into a movie like thinking like, oh, I already know this one's gonna suck. Like, you always have a bad attitude going into those, for sure. So it is a little awkward because that whole minute 10, whatever it is, you're just like, when's this thing gonna end?
What are we 9 picks in?
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed all 9 picks. There's not one pick I'm like, I don't know about this one. All 9 picks I'm like feeling it. I'm feeling awkward. This is good.
All right, back to me. My next pick, I'm going to kick it back to when we were kids. I always thought there was nothing more awkward when you go to a friend's house and the parents were fighting. You know, it was
Great.
just tough. You know, like you just want to crawl under the covers. You want to go into the bathroom and just pretend like you don't hear it. But
Can you give me an example? Like, what would they be fight? Would it be serious fights, or would it be like, you didn't pick them up from practice, or?
who even knows? It could be about anything. It could be about whatever. But it was always like, fuck. We just,
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
That's a good one. I remember like being in the basement with like my buddy's house. This is probably like 5th or 6th grade, and like his parents got divorced like a year later. But like we would be in the basement like playing Sega or something, and you could hear them upstairs like muffled yelling at each other, and that just makes everyone else just kind of like sit in silence.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's like super embarrassed and like he's
Mortified.
like trying to like turn the TV up to 87. And, like, you know what I mean? It's just like it's a bad situation all around. Like you just gotta cap it.
Yeah.
You gotta cap it. So that was always an awkward situation when you go to a friend's house and the parents were fighting. I got to read this ad, so I'm just going to blow a pick. I'm not wasting it. I'm not picking it.
Is it Roman?
It's Roman.
Yeah.
It's an awkward situation when you don't last long in bed, people. So go get some Roman swipes.
Get some Roman swipes.
So sorry to anyone's board who had that. I'm not drafting it, but it's very draftable topic.
Very draftable.
Very, very draftable.
Was it on anybody's board?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. If that happened to me right now, I wouldn't give a shit.
I wouldn't give a shit either.
But if I was like 18 and trying to.
It's
What
about not being able to get it going?
that's
That's way worse.
infinitely worse.
When she's sitting there, she's ready to go.
What do you say, Tommy?
I'm all fired up.
I have the opposite. I had the opposite down of just not coming, like just it taking way too long, and then it's like, what are we doing? Like,
Have you-
what's
Yeah, I'm
our
done
end game?
here.
Have you ever faked it?
Yeah,
I faked it.
yeah, but I wasn't. It actually was very awkward because I wasn't wearing a condom, and then she was just like, "You didn't fake." Like I know for a fact you didn't like come. I would know if you did.
Is that a bad
so
question?
I just had to be like, "Yeah, sorry."
You're just tired. You had enough already.
Yeah. So I agree too.
Yeah,
Even
my
if it's
stomach hurts sometimes.
just not being able to get it up, it's also an
Roman
awkward
has a
situation.
cure for that too.
Yeah, they got a
Yeah.
cure for that
Yeah.
too. Go check that out. But specifically right now, we're talking about the swipes. Like I said, clinically proven way to last longer in bed. Effective, easy to use, and they're fast acting, but they don't require a prescription. Roman can ship the swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each swipe packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. Just take the swipe out of the packet, swipe it on, let it dry. You're good to go. That's it. Go to GetRoman.com/dogwalk to get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/dogwalk. Go use it. Avoid an awkward situation. Very draftable, very awkward. You don't need to be awkward anymore because you got Roman. So go do it.
Great ad placement.
Great ad placement. Perfect by Roman. And I'm up again with another pick. I'm going to go with one that's like is inherently brief. It's very brief, but it's very awkward. Walking in on someone's stall. You know, that second where you guys lock eyes and it's just like, and then if they got to come out after you, they got to walk past you. It's just it's just super awkward. Like, hey man, sorry. Like, oh no, it's my fault, dude. I didn't lock it all the way. Like, there's always something there when you walk in on someone's stall.
The worst version of that is the airplane, because then it's like you're just back there if they didn't move the little occupied lock thing and it just says vacant and you open it and they're in there. It's like it's really their fault, but then you have to hang out there and wait for them to come out. So like you can't even just walk away or wait for like you're fucked.
And the whole rest of that plane ride's like, oh, I walked in on that guy dropping a deuce.
Yep.
Like there,
Who
you
drops
just
a
never.
deuce on an airplane though?
People do.
Sometimes
I
those
have.
cross country
I
flights.
don't mind
are,
taking a dump on an airplane at all.
I mind it, but I've had situations where it's like
Never have.
I'm on a 5-hour
My body
flight.
knows me so well. It knows I need to be on my home turf. But I walked in on it was growing up. I was maybe fucking 10 years old. I walked in on the neighbor's mom taking a dump, or I don't know. Girls sit when they pee, but she was on the pot. I opened the bathroom door, and she goes, ah! And I slammed it shut, and I went straight home.
So what do you think, though? What's the verdict? Was she peeing or pooing?
I'm guessing she was pooping.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing she was pooping. I didn't hear anything.
Tommy, anything on this one?
Yeah, I had this on my list, but I actually have a steadfast rule of if I walk in on someone that's unlocked, I don't apologize because that's not my fault. It's your fault for not locking the door and not locking the stall. I'm not going to apologize for your problem.
100%.
What if the door lock is broke, though? Like,
What are the odds?
Yeah, but like you go to a shitty gas station or something like when you're in a pinch.
See, I don't care about that. I know I'll never see that person again.
Do we say it's more awkward for the person that's walking in, not the person who's being walked in
I think
on?
so.
It depends, though, bro. I mean, I don't know if we don't need to get in the whole sitting, standing wipe situation, but
Oh,
you
if you're
walk into
standing
someone
up
that's
and you're
standing,
what? Ooh, that's awkward.
You know.
But I don't know.
fucking.
I think it's more awkward to be the person who walks in.
Think so?
Because if
Yeah.
I'm taking a dump and someone walks in, it's like stay as long as you want. I'm
True.
taking a dump.
And all even here, like our system here at the Barstool Chicago office, for people that don't know, obviously, if you're listening, you don't know. It's like it's the worst system. We have key system, and technically, if someone's in there and you just use the key, you're just gonna walk right in on them. Like, I don't want to walk in.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the key and see White Sox Dave raking clumps out of his ass. That would suck.
And there's multiple keys for both bathrums. So like
Yes.
theoretically, like he could be hanging there, but it could be
Someone could
occupied.
be,
You
yes,
wouldn't know.
correct.
It has not happened to me.
No, I always knock now. I always
Yeah.
knock now. But regardless, awkward situation. You lock eyes. You see someone on the shitter,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no quick twitch muscle faster than how fast they close their legs, and they just like close their.
We're talking like Olympian quick twitch.
Like Gary Sheffield didn't need the fucking juice for that. Like that. That's how fast like your quick twitch muscle is when you're in a situation like that. So yeah, walking in on someone stalled bathroom stall.
Great pick.
Tommy, you're up.
So I'm gonna go. This could be maybe the most off the board pick we've had so far, but I'm gonna give a broad topic with specific examples. The broad topic: untimely boner, and my examples where I fear this the most. It's literally maybe the most in life is going to a doctor exam and getting a physical. And like they say, pull your pants down and cough, and I'm just so afraid of getting a boner. Like I just think it's so awkward if I was this cup in my balls checking me for testicular cancer if I was like jumped up.
How do you think boners happen?
I'm so in my head about it that I'm afraid it's gonna happen. And then my other example, this that I feared, it was what?
Hold on,
Wait,
sorry.
my connection's unstable.
Yeah, there's a delay. Do you need to reset?
What do you have so far?
We heard everything you said.
Yeah, no, we're back. We're back.
back, yeah.
What's your second example?
My second example is I got a tan last year. A girl it was for the surviving Barstool finale, and she said to just get down to your boxers. And she was an attractive girl spraying me, and I was just really afraid I was going to get a boner the whole time. I didn't, but those are the type of examples where situations where your dick is exposed, maybe bare or
just a thin piece of cotton.
Just getting a boner in a place you really shouldn't.
An untimely
Maybe even
boner.
in school too. If you're in sweatpants in school.
Tommy, this is the second time I've asked you this. How old are you?
25.
25.
This is a issue you have when you're 12, not 25.
But it's something I've thought about. I mean, it's not that long ago.
It's
I just got
residual
a
fear.
physical a month ago.
Yeah, but like
I haven't had my
hold on,
nuts
you
touched
guys
by a doctor in fucking like a decade. Probably.
I think it's a good pick. I think that you shouldn't be awkward if you, historically speaking, most porn scenes start with like, oh, look at this boner, right? Like I feel like that's not too, like going to the doctor's office and getting a boner. Like you should be. It's like, what if she's hot? What if she likes the boner? What if the tanning girl? What if you accidentally got that boner and she's like, that's a great boner, Tommy.
Well, I wouldn't have wanted to take that risk. Maybe
Yeah.
a massage too. Although I guess you're like that would be an example of a bad time to get a boner unless you're at a rub and tug. Then it's a great time.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, an untimely boner is definitely a scary thing. Doctor makes more sense. Like, yeah, no, I never got a spray tan, so I guess I can't relate. But
Have you ever gone tanning?
No, I never have.
that's surprising to me actually.
no.
But I mean, this I'm surprised this isn't. I feel like this is very relatable. I have like vivid memories where we would have to wear like the windbreaker like warm-ups like for hockey on game days, and just sitting there in class knowing that I have a boner and watching the clock and being like, I hope this period lasts another 15 minutes so I have a better chance of this boner going away before I have to stand
yeah.
up.
That's
Like,
something that everybody.
like that is
Right.
Stacked.
Walking through the hallway, covering your boner with a binder or a note.
Yep.
You know, maybe starting with an example of a 70-year-old man touching my penis probably wasn't the best, but untimely boner is
Yes.
the overall, broad one I'm going
Yeah.
with here. I was just giving a few examples that I worry about specifically.
Yeah, I'll give you another one too. I'll cross it off my list because it fits into this. It's just when you were younger too, going to like a school dance and grinding with someone and you just
Get a little
yeah,
happy
yeah, just like that was
Yeah,
always
yeah.
Shouldn't they want, like, I feel like that shouldn't be awkward.
True, but it is like
I'd be
because you're
honored.
young and you're a fucking hormone. And like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
not like, and like who knows if like you're the boner guy. Like that would be a tough look.
Yeah, you don't want to be
You
a
don't.
boner guy.
No, you can't be
Yeah.
a boner
Yeah.
guy. That's unbecoming.
Yeah. Shout out Mike Seaver. Mike Seaver's buddy. Sorry. Untimely boner off the board. Tommy
what
Smooth.
was that?
It's a sitcom.
You never seen Growing Pains?
Oh,
Yeah.
not in.
His buddy's name was Boner. Boner guy.
It's a good name.
Carl, you're up.
Walking in on your parents having sex.
Never happened to me.
Same.
Same.
Me neither.
That would be very awkward, though. That would be.
Yeah.
That would be like I couldn't talk to my parents again.
Yeah, that's just like I feel like that answer right there was the number one Steve Harvey Family Feud answer. You know, like that's the that list had 77 points and
Yeah, just
votes,
like an
whatever.
interest. We don't have to like you have to like fucking sit here and chop this draft pick up, but I think it's just super awkward. So
Of course, it is.
Is anybody going to ask?
just a quick. That's a quick
What?
fast. No, I haven't. That's just a quick
Yeah.
fast.
You're the only one that didn't say.
Yeah, no, I haven't. That's a quick fast pick. Let's get to the next one.
That's
No.
the pick. The pick is so awkward. We're just brushing it under the rug. The rug. That's how you know it's a good pick. So, fair enough. Chief, you're up.
I will go with saying goodbye to someone and then realizing you're walking in the same direction. So you give like the big goodbye and then it's like, all right, we'll see you later. And you're like, oh, well, our cars are parked right next to each other 50 yards away. And now it's like you have to like walk. It's kind of almost a cousin of yours. But like you're walking,
Yeah.
like you have the big goodbye and then it's like, all right, see ya. And then you have to keep walking together. That sucks. So I don't know how to put that on the graphic, but
Especially like, dude, even just like having to say goodbye a million times, and that just creates like another goodbye. Like,
yeah.
I like it. I
You
don't.
like
Dave
it.
doesn't sound like you like it.
I mean, if I did that, I'd just be like, oh, we're going the same direction. We got another 30 seconds of forced conversations. I wouldn't think that's like necessarily awkward, though.
If you like hug it out and like, hey, we'll see you later, see you next time.
I mean,
and then you both.
I think
like,
it's got to be a very, very specific person you're
But-
doing that with. If it was any of us, we're like, I'll see you later, Ed.
Oh,
And
so
then-
yeah, but I
No.
think he's talking like he goes to a dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe there was like a
Right.
business meeting and like they
Work-
talk,
yeah, work
like an
function.
interview, and it's like, hey man,
Yeah.
like, this is gonna happen. Here's the
Okay.
next steps. Like,
Right.
That's like, all right, man, we'll talk. We'll be in
Yeah.
touch.
And then you have the longest 45-second walk of your life where it's like you don't know what to do or say. Like that's an awkward situation.
Yeah, I like we'll have variations of this at the New York office. More not necessarily double goodbye, but if you take the elevator down or walk down the stairs with someone who maybe you don't know, like maybe I feel like you guys all know each other pretty well there, but here there could be someone that you just don't really know that well, but maybe you should be talking to, and it's that my heart beats so fast where I'm like, is he going to go left or is he going to go right? Are we going to have to walk down this half block together? And I will sometimes slow up, see where the person goes, and then go in the opposite direction.
I have faked a phone call before, where it's like I feel it coming, and it's like we start walking, and we're like, oh, sorry, hold on, phone call, and then they just go, and then I hang up, and now we're like a good 15 yards away.
It's a great example, Tommy, in the office. Like, yeah, you see like a third floor person, and it's just you don't know if they're splitting right with you or if they're going left. So, I like it, Dave. That seems like the first distaste of a pick.
I don't think that's too good of a pick. No.
I'm surprised that as someone who drafted Walking with Strangers, that
but
this
that's like you.
this is like a cousin.
I
of
understand, but like you can combat this. Like this one, it's just like whatever. I think.
That. Well, I mean, you could combat that one.
I know, but I think mine's 1,000 times better.
I disagree. I wouldn't.
what would you say, Ed?
I would not trade with you.
They're cousins. They're like
I
so
understand.
related. It's not like they're probably brothers if we're being honest. Like they're so close to each other.
Yeah.
where, it's tough. So I don't know. White Sox, Dave, you're up.
I'm going accidentally farting in class. This one teeters on the line of embarrassment, but I did it one time. This was in 8th grade, and we had tile floors, and we had the standard like sit in the seat, and then you have the like desk in front of you, and they're all the same piece of furniture or whatever. And I did it, and I immediately started shuffling the desk along the tiled floor
To cover your tracks.
to like make it sound the same. And everybody's just kind of like looking at me, and I'm like, But no one said it out loud. The teacher kept teaching and kind of gave me one of those looks, and it was just, I hated it. I hated every second of it. I wanted to die.
For some reason, you're not getting a great reaction right now, but you should be, because if people really remember, put yourself back in those shoes. It was mortifying if you did that on accident.
Yeah, this one it is, but this is more in like just straight embarrassment without the awkwardness.
It's embarrassment if they react to the fart in like a laughter way. If the entire class just like erupts in laughter, then you're just fucking embarrassed. But if no one's really acknowledging it other than a couple side eyes or like, glances,
all right,
then it's
fair.
fucking awkward as shit.
Or it's even more awkward if the teacher's like, who the fuck fucking farted? Like who's like,
I think it's more awkward if you don't know who did it. Like maybe you're in an elevator, you hear something and it's like, which one of the three of us just farted, like is maybe the most awkward situation. Then if it is you, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot of elevator farts lately.
What else? Yeah, we got
on the rundown. Yeah, on the rundown.
Yeah, because you would.
You like it? You like pick?
Yeah, it's a good pick. Yeah, I like it all, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
We had a teacher who someone kept farting. Someone was ripping rancid ass in high school, and he made us all write down who we thought it was.
Oh, I like that.
Put it in a bowl.
See, that's how.
That's a good time for
if
this
you're the
there.
perpetrator, there's actually not apples to apples, but there is a South Park on this topic. If you're the perpetrator and like a teacher did that, you got to have the wherewithal to just roll with that.
Yeah.
And if you do, then it like takes awkwardness because everybody fucking farts. We're also
for sure. I felt bad. People were dicks. And
that's what we were talking about on the rundown on Wednesday.
The poor foreign exchange student, but like, I mean, what did the guy expect? Yeah, it was on the rundown.
Yeah.
Well, different. Okay, so Dave went to high school with girls.
Yes. I forgot to bring that part up
because Eddie and I went to high school without girls, and so farting in high school is way different.
Did you have?
It was way funnier. Like it was not awkward at
It
all.
was a
Like
big
cutting
deal,
ass
yeah.
was just like it was. Like it was funny. It was purely funny. At no point was cutting ass in high school awkward.
That's very, very.
But
different.
if I had girls in class, 100%, I'd be red faced. I'd be embarrassed. That's a very difficult.
Like you're looking at the clock and the second hand is just going backwards, counterclockwise, and you're like, "Fuck, get me out of here! Get me out of here! Get me out of here!" Awful situation to be in.
You're up again.
This one happened to me very recently. It was the same day I met randomly Trevor Simeon, the quarterback backup at the dog park. A lady, I don't want to say little, she had her baby and I was, our dogs were playing. I'm like, oh, what's your son's name? She had a baby and it was a girl. I guessed the wrong sex. It was like a 3-month-old baby maybe.
You assume the baby's gender?
I assumed the baby's gender and she's like, her name is whatever her name was. And I was like, this is awkward, and then my dog started humping her dog.
Well, I mean, at least she wasn't like. It'd be way worse if the kid was like,
A lot of kids are just bald, though. I actually don't think this is that bad.
Yeah,
I was pretty fucking embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't think this is bad. I think this is.
I don't think it's that bad either. It's a baby.
Yeah.
I think it's only awkward if the person really gets offended for some reason. Like it's not. I mean, I don't
the
have
way
kids,
she
but
reacted
I had a
made
kid
it
that was
awkward
1 month
because she's like, her name. And she wasn't like she was a little bit offended. She's like, her name is whatever the baby's name was.
Melanie.
Maybe it
pretty
was Melanie.
fucked up by her to assign her baby a gender already at only 3 months old. she should say, let's wait and see.
Guessing baby's wrong gender.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chief, you're up.
This is going to make me seem a little pervy, but when you are, let's say that you meet a new girl that you're interested in and you're like stalking and going through her Instagram and you like accidentally like
a picture
from like 2 years ago. That's, she's getting that notification. It doesn't matter how quickly you unlike it. There's a notification going to her phone, and she knows,
this
and
and
it's
fantastic pick.
And it's awkward. It's very awkward.
It's never brought up though. It's never brought up.
Discussed?
Yeah, it's never discussed. But she sees it, and that's in the back of her head, and you're like, "Fuck."
I don't know if you were just saving this in the canon or you were embarrassed to take it early, but that's light years better than your last pick.
Light years better. This is a home run pick, I think.
Yeah, that could be a
I
first
think
rounder.
It's a great pick. relatable. The only thing is it doesn't happen in person. So like you don't experience the awkwardness necessarily with the girl.
Fair point.
You know what I mean?
See, I think that makes it worse in a way because
Really?
then you're just sitting there thinking about it and you're hoping to like, then just like, if you were going to text her, then it's like, I don't want to text her right now. And then it's like you just sit there and stew really until like the next time you talk about it.
But to that point, like a lot of times there's not even a resolution. It's just never brought up.
You got to just wear it. So you hit her up a few hours later, be like, what are you doing this weekend? And she's like, I don't know. And what are you doing? Like, then I would just be like, right now, stalking your Instagram. I would just
Sometimes
like,
it'll be somebody you don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a
well,
buddy
that's-
who's talking to her or something, you know, you
Well,
just,
that's awkward too.
yeah, it's bad too.
Yeah.
It's him in a bad spot.
Can
Yeah.
we do that right now as a social experiment?
Who's do you want to like?
I don't know. We'll figure someone out.
Okay.
Great pick.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm
tough.
about to pick. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
you
in
could
my head
take
about that pick. But I think, yeah, I like what Tommy's saying is that it's like it's not in person. And, I mean, we use the word to start off, or Chief used the word to start off. It is awkward. It's a little bit more creepy, though. It's like awkward creepy. It's like on that teetering line because you can be,
It's both.
yeah.
Yeah. It's awkward because you're being a creep, but everybody does it, but you're a creep.
I'm going to take diarrhea at your girlfriend's parents' house.
Oh, that's very specific.
Yeah. Well, you know. So, like, once you're in a relationship, and we talked about this on the rundown, you get past a certain point, like, you don't really care if you have to take a dump. Like, oh, I'm over at my girlfriend's place. Like, I have to take a shit. Like, there's a hurdle, you climb that. There's a hurdle you'll climb where it's like, oh, I farted around her. There's a hurdle you'll climb the first time you get sick and, like, you have food poisoning or something. You're like, hey, just stay away from the bathroom. Like, there's all these checkpoints that you can overcome with, like, bodily fluids and just being sick and just being like a regular human being around your significant other. The one hurdle you will never get over is having to take a fucking gross, nasty shit when you're at her parents' house or you're at some kind of family functions. We talked to a little bit about, like, this isn't about, like, whether or not you have to, like, plunge or whatever. It's, like, literally having a sickness in your stomach and sitting on the couch while, like, cousin Joey's opening up a fucking present and you're like, there's only one toilet on this first floor and I am about to go sit in it for 15 minutes and blow this thing up.
Yeah, I've never been in such a situation, really, but I can imagine it being
I'm trying to remember if I don't think I have.
being fucking brutal.
Yeah.
For sure. Tommy?
Yeah, I have not had this specific situation, but it sounds horrible.
Have you had it?
Yeah, on multiple occasions.
Oh.
Dave?
Nope.
No, but I like that. It's definitely
I hope I never do. I fully get it.
I can think of,
for sure. Long
I mean,
Game
going
Poly,
back 10 years, I could think of 3 different bathrooms.
Long Game Poly, you know, great scene.
That was tough. One of them was at a cousin's house, too.
Diarrhea at your girlfriend's parents' house. Tom, you're up again.
So this one could just be maybe because I'm awkward, but this is horrible. I'm trying to think of how to word it, but like being in no man's land at like a bar where there's a bunch of different group conversations happening around you, and maybe you just went to the bathroom and you're trying to get back and you can't decide sort of what conversation are you just going to jump into. How are you going to just sort of awkwardly stand there and work your way into the conversation, stand on the edge of the circle and like hope somebody wipes you? And again, a more outgoing guy, they might just join, no problem. For me, I think when you, and maybe it's at a work party or a party where you maybe don't know people that well, if you're just stuck in no man's land, loitering, waiting for a conversation to join, I think that's very awkward.
I think this is a great pick. I think that's a great pick. It's like being perpetually the new kid in class.
Yeah.
Like that, but like just in a social setting. Like that's the worst. And you're just trying to be involved, but you don't want to be too forceful, and you don't know what to do.
And what do you do in this situation?
There's one tool that has saved this situation from being as bad as it was when we were growing up, and it's a cell phone.
Fake text messaging.
Yep, exactly.
You sit there and you fake text
Yep,
message.
exactly.
But then you're the loner guy who's like, on his phone.
Yeah, not great either. Not great
It's
either.
better than being the loner guy standing there just looking around saying, hey, someone talk to me.
Like, that's mortifying. Our fucking
Making darting eye contact.
like the generation before, they would have to sit there with a cup in their hand in their pocket and just look at all the conversation.
Yeah.
Like that meme. That's like, and it's
Yeah.
like the people grinding and the guy in the corner.
Oh, yeah, and the guy in the corner.
Like that,
Balls are
nobody
one
at this party knows I'm whatever. Yeah.
Yes. How would you word this, Tommy? Sorry, you cut out a little off the top.
I guess loitering between conversations at a party, or
I like that. Loitering in convo no man's land, or
loitering in a combos at a party. Yeah, sounds like everybody likes it.
I do like it.
All right, it's back to me. I need 2 picks to wrap up my draft. I'm gonna take something that's that you could feel it in the moment. It always is. It's tough because it's between that one person and just themselves. It's watching a stand-up bomb is awkward as fuck to be in the audience for. Like, so bad, especially to see that person sweating, taking that sip of water, moving around a little bit, grabbing the cord, whatever they're doing. Watching someone bomb and the room just won't give them an inch is tough.
Do you ever give a sympathy laugh? I don't think I've ever been in that situation. I've been to comedy shows but I don't think I've never been to like enough open mics to like see somebody like truly bomb.
I don't know if I've seen not like worst of the worst, but like you've seen videos and
no, I definitely know what you're talking about.
I've definitely been in rooms with comedians who haven't done well.
Do you feel the
And
urge to
it's tough.
give them like a courtesy laugh? Maybe just get them going.
Yeah, because you know how I acknowledge how hard it is,
Yeah,
and like how brutal the situation is, right? So, but it's so fucking awkward, man. Like those people. Like, that's what they want to do, presumably. Like, they're trying to make a name for themselves. So, like, deep down how much it bothers them as well. There's a lot of moving parts to it. A lot. So, watching a stand-up comic bomb is my pick. I need one more.
yeah, I think it's sort of. Sorry, hold on.
No, you can go. Your connection's
A little
shit.
similar to like when someone is showing you what they think is a funny video. Anytime you're expecting to elicit laughter from a person or a group of people and you don't get it, I just think is definitely one of the more awkward situations.
For sure. All right, I need last round, 5th round here. This one, this one's one of the worst. I'm going to take it in the 5th round here. So I hope people could relate to this one because it probably didn't happen because we all have different like school upbringings and whatnot. But the day that they post the cuts for basketball or any type of sport is easily one of the most awkward days of school.
Dude, this actually pissed me off at my high school.
I've never had this situation where I would cut, thankfully, but like if your buddy got cut or like even if you weren't friends with them, it's just a feeling of like, fuck, that sucks, and you just felt so bad
It's fucking stupid,
for them.
man. Like, I'm not a participator. So my freshman year for football, and I went to a large high school, 2,500 kids or whatever. They only cut like 4 kids, and we had a C team at our high school. We had like
for
football, yeah.
Oh.
Which
Football?
I was
That's
like
crazy.
St. Charles didn't cut anyone.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck's the point of cutting? Like, let them play.
Yeah.
I remember thinking this as like a 14 or 15-year-old, and they ended up inviting the kids back. I'm assuming they got some backlash, but I was like fucking furious with the coaches. I was like, what the fuck? Like, they want to play football. Who cares? If they never play, they never play. They're not hurting anything.
Yeah,
Baseball is different.
But it's an awkward day, man. You know what I mean? Like but you felt bad for those guys, right, Dave?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball's the hardest one to get cut
I've had
from.
this happen.
Yeah.
Well, you've had this happen, you said?
Obviously.
Yeah, he
I
tried out
was
for the
kidding.
baseball team.
Tell me about it, Tommy.
Yeah, no. So I've had this on both ends. Where 8th grade we had an A team and a B team, and then an MLB team, which was like the C team. 7th grade I made the B team, which was fine. 8th grade I made the A team actually, but I had to watch everybody who didn't make it basically be like, why is Tommy on the A team? Like, it was like he shouldn't be on the A team. And then 9th grade, I just didn't make JV at all. So, but I didn't really care. Like, I thought it was more awkward having people be like, why is Tommy on the A team than just not making JV team, because I didn't really care.
So that's perfect, Tommy. But when at prep school, they did kind of like the opposite, which I think they probably thought it would feel better, but I would imagine it feels way worse. Instead of just posting a list, they called everybody that tried out for the hockey team into like the locker room, and the head coach, the assistant coach, and the captains told you if you made the team or not. And like, imagine being like a 17-year-old kid and you're going in. It's like you have your peers being like,
It's like Hard Knocks.
"Is it?" Yeah, more
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like it wasn't just the coaching staff or the head coach. It was like the
Yeah.
head coach, his assistant, and then we had 2 captains, and the captains have to be like, "Yeah, sorry, like keep working hard. You'll."
Yeah,
maybe somebody
it's
gets
tough,
hurt.
and I
Yeah.
was exasperated because my dad coached too, and like I still remember one of my best friends didn't make it, and it was just like it's tough, man. It was very awkward, and I just felt bad for him because I love the kid.
How do you describe this? What would you call it? Tryout list?
The day the cut list is posted for sports, I don't know, like it's something
it's
like
tough.
that. It's an awkward day. It's an awkward
Yeah,
situation.
it's tough.
So like I said beforehand, I think that's a good pick. I thought I'd be able to get late, so I'm happy to get it there. Tom, you're up.
All right. I have specific ones, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. I think it's a pick people could relate to anytime money's involved. Asking someone for money that they owe you. Like, so it's an asshole move on the other person where maybe you guys go to dinner and one guy just doesn't pay a share or something, and maybe it's $50, $100, and they're the asshole for not paying you. They're the piece of shit. Like, just Venmo you, but you then feel like the asshole, or maybe it's a couple weeks later. It's like, hey man, like you have that $100, like $100 from the dinner or something. Like, it's a tough situation to ask. It makes you feel like the bad guy, but they're the bad guy. And Venmo has helped this a little because you could request one, but then it's like, do you nudge them if they're not complete? So I think anytime you have to ask someone for money that they owe you, even though you're in the right, it's an awkward situation.
Big time.
Yeah,
I don't have that issue anymore.
I struggle with this.
There was a whole Curb Your Enthusiasm episode
I
like
still
built
gotta get
around
into-
this
I
theme.
can't believe
Was
I
there?
never
Oh
watched
yeah.
this show.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't have that problem? Like, you don't mind? Like, you don't mind if someone owes you money? That's just fine.
It,
like,
it depends
it's your
on
own-
the amount, obviously, but no one's owed me. The last time I've owed someone's owed me, I bummed my sister a couple grand like a year ago, but that's my sister. Like, if someone owes me $60, I'm never gonna say a word about it. I'll just expect them to get it next time.
Yeah, but also if like if it was like a bigger group thing where like someone owes you,
Oh,
60,
that's
that's what I'm saying, and that's 60
I got
adds
White
up.
Sox Dave at the Barstool Bar this weekend.
Oh,
I mean, you expensed it.
I don't know if that's gonna go through.
It will absolutely go through.
We'll see.
It will.
I think it
we
will.
got White Sox Dave.
And you're
Explain
acting
what
like
that
Yeah,
you're
but-
acting like
okay.
it was me.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah.
busting your balls, but you can't if it's a sizable check, call it 500 to make an even number. You're not going to go around requesting $100 from 5 different people. Absolutely fucking not. I'd rather eat the money than do that.
Yeah, but Tommy's right though. There is something where there's a dynamic where you feel like the asshole.
Yeah. That's why like I'm glad I don't even know if I should say it. Never mind. We'll move on. Gambling is legal in Illinois. I would never have been able to be a bookie for that reason. Be like for sport like back in the day.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like you like having to collect.
Nice, don't have to worry about that.
Now we just
Download the Barstool Sports.
Barstool Sportsbook app live in Illinois, remote gambling.
Okay, Carl, you're up.
Last pick, 23rd overall. I'm gonna take leaving porn open on your browser, and like either you're like showing somebody on like your phone, or like you're opening your laptop in class, or like you're making a presentation or something, and it's just like, and you can just you pick it up right in the scene, and she's just getting drilled, and you're like, duh, phone's right back in your pocket. Yeah, that's definitely happened to me a couple times. In law school, I opened up my laptop, and it was like in a late night class or something, and I had been at work all day, and I had a law school laptop and I had my work laptop, and so I'm like in class. I'm sitting right in the middle of this 100-person lecture, and I take my MacBook out, and of course I was last thing I was doing was crank and stick. And of course, I fucking open the thing up, and it's like a hardcore threesome, and it's just it's like the volume super loud.
That's probably why you ended up not. You probably never went to class again after that.
No,
right?
I did. I got an A in that class. It was business organizations. It was a very easy class, Dave.
I wouldn't have
very, very easy class.
I would not have. I wouldn't have given you an ounce of shit if you just. That was the reason you dropped out of law school.
I dropped out because I didn't want to. It's a longer story, but I went to after this happened. I was so utterly. Well, I mean, it was so awkward. But now this is a big crossover and embarrassment. And you were like ingrained, not like ingrained, but you would sit in the same class, especially night class. These are mostly people coming from working like 9 to 5s and stuff. And so then I stopped bringing a computer to class, and then would like sit up in the front right, and, like wear a hat, and was like so embarrassed. And like I would not go into that class unless it was like right before the class, and then as soon as it was over, I'd leave. I was so embarrassed.
And it was on the big screen?
No, it wasn't on the big
Okay,
screen. It was
okay.
just me in the middle of. I was probably in like the 6th out of 15 rows, smack dab in the middle. There might have been 25, 30 people behind me, dispersed. It was a large but the audio was just so loud.
Yeah,
That was a tough one.
that is tough. So
And you know what, though, Ed? I'm not alone. I know this is happening to people. There's probably somebody listening right now. They were getting ready to give a big sales presentation, client, finalist. And they open up the computer, and it's just like, fuck me, silly.
God forbid someone's searching something on your phone and the website starts with a P. You know,
Yeah,
and it just autofills to whatever your last Pornhub link was.
And like on the opposite spectrum too, I always laugh when like I'll grab like my buddy's phone and it's like suggested, like top ones. Like, I'm always like, you.
Oh, yeah, that's
Like,
funny.
get some other hobbies,
Like,
dude.
geez,
Backdoor sluts 9.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
dude, like
Open a
fucking
new
delete your
tab.
history.
Yeah.
Yeah, like come on, man.
Yeah.
But it's always funny, like you know.
Whatever. I mean, we're all animals.
I feel like something in this vein too would be like, I'm not a problem anymore, but growing up, if your parents ever caught you watching porn or jerking off or something, very, very awkward. Where, in fact, my friend one time, he wasn't even jerking off. He was just trying to go to like dickssportinggoods.com, and he just typed in dicks.com and just a bunch of
I've
dicks
done that
popped up
too.
on the screen.
Yeah.
And his dad walked right in, like as he was watching all these dicks, and he just like shook his head. And
Dude,
walked out.
that's probably happened to fucking everybody. That's like, why did you name it Dick's? Like Sporting Goods? Pick
Right.
fucking Richard Sport. Anything else other than Dick's solely because of that.
Should have stuck with the name Galleons.
That
Yeah.
Wait,
Right.
you've
I
gone
forgot
to,
it was
you've
Galleon.
gone to
Yeah.
Dicks.com before?
Everybody
Oh
has.
come on! I've actually never have, but
It's the easiest mistake on earth to make.
But
want
like
me to go to
same thing.
dicks.com
If
right
you,
now?
if you Steve Harvey this and you're like, which Barstool employee went to dicks.com as a kid?
I just
like,
went to it.
White Sox Dave gets 88%.
Oh,
of the
it's so
answer.
it-
I'm on
it-
Dicks.com. Goes
it-
right to Dick's
Yeah,
Sporting Goods.
it auto directs now. It auto
They
directs.
bought
now.
out the Dicks.
Oh,
They
wow.
bought out Dicks.com. They probably paid fucking.
All right, now
billions
check out
for
go to
that.
lemonparty.org and see if that goes to
What
Dicks.
was that again?
Lemonparty.org. Just go to it.
I don't want to do that.
No. Don't do that if you're listening. Don't do that.
What?
Oh, that's right. I could get in trouble for that.
What was the other one? Whitehouse.org or whitehouse.com or
Whitehouse.com.
something?
Yeah, it was like a porn site.
Don't go to Lemon Party.
I forget what Lemon
Hey, I
Party
don't
is,
think
but I
you're in
remember that was
trouble,
the
but
thing.
I'm just want to look out for the people. Do it at your own risk, I'll say. So leaving porn
Oh,
open.
it's still up.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. Leaving porn open on phone browser. Is that right, Carl?
A web browser.
On web
yeah,
browser.
on
leaving
on
porn
browser.
open on web browser.
Web browser.
All right, Chief, you're up.
I got 5 left. I'll just do one that was happening to me yesterday. I'll say coughing during the pandemic. So if you're coughing, everyone just
You're
assumes that you have
terminally ill.
or that
Yeah.
you're instantly a social pariah for having seasonal allergies. So if you have a cough anytime in the last 2.5 years, basically, that's fucking awkward. I remember I went to the Blackhawks game, the last game. It was like the day. Who was the guy in the Jazz that got everything like shut down?
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. So like that news was that like he had tested positive, and I was at a Blackhawks Sharks game when the announcement came down that the NBA was the NBA was
Yeah.
shut down. So the whole stadium was like just eerily quiet, and you could like hear people like coughing around you, and you're just like, who did that? Who did that? And it's just like super fucking awkward if you cough in an Uber anywhere. Coughing during the
Thankfully,
pandemic.
it feels like it's over because I'll be honest, when you were coughing the other day, I didn't think like COVID. I was just like, oh, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Get it together.
Yeah.
You know? So like I feel like it is like this is over. So your pick had a lifespan, but it was definitely a good one during
Yeah.
that lifespan.
For a solid year, I would say, year and a half.
Yeah.
There was a period of time where it was the equivalent of like saying the word bomb in an airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so coughing during a pandemic off the board. White Sox Dave, who is Mr. Irrelevant?
I got a couple that are cousins. I don't want to do cousins. I got one easy one that's like, and then I got one that like the explanation on the graphic would be way too difficult. So I don't know which way I want to go. I'm probably going to, all right. Making like an off-color joke to someone who's been in that experience. Do you know what I mean? Tommy, you're shaking your head yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
You tell you tell a dirty joke about, I don't know, pregnancy or something like, oh, she can't have kids. She's got like,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how to properly word it, but
or
someone
doing
help me
your
out
mom
here.
joke to a guy who has a dead mom.
Exactly.
Correct.
Perfectly
Okay,
put.
okay.
Yeah.
Making a joke about a serious.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
this is a bear trap you step in often.
I have. I wouldn't say often.
Joking about a sore subject.
Joking about a sore subject in front of a person experienced sore subject.
Yes, I get
Yes,
it.
yeah.
The graphic is going to joking about a sore subject.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, and
And-
that's not great.
It's not a good situation to be in.
And I do feel like
Yeah.
it happens to Dave often.
Yeah. I mean, I like a good off-color joke here and there.
I feel like it happened recently. Somebody was talking about somebody being like, "This guy's off the charts smart. He's like Rain Man," and the guy who was telling to was like, "Yeah, I have an autistic son. I know what you mean." It was like, "Oh God!" Like, it was
Exactly.
So awkward.
Exactly.
It was like, let's
That
put the
situation.
flames out on this conversation instantly.
I don't know if there's like a good joke to make about cancer, but like say you're telling a joke about cancer and it's like, oh, I got brain cancer. You know,
Yeah. No, I
my
got
mom, my grandma just died of cancer.
Sorry, I'm a moron. I have a tumor.
you. Yeah, it's a
Guy's like, I actually have a tumor.
correct. That's a good.
You tell
perfect
a dead
example.
baby joke to a lady who just
Perfect
had
example.
Who's got a
unfortunate
pile of dead
Exactly.
babies in her garage?
Exactly, yeah.
miscarriage.
Yeah, we get it, Dave. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Dave,
All right.
what, that was so fucked up. That last
Keep
one you
going.
just
It
said was,
was-
so fucked up.
I mean, dead baby jokes are.
You
been
just
around
did it.
I know, but
forever.
like we.
But I feel like they died for a reason. Not the babies, the jokes. The
Thank you for
jokes-
clarifying that.
Excuse me. I wanted to get ahead of that. The jokes have died for a
I
reason.
had a catcher who used to do dead baby jokes during mound visits.
To loosen the pitcher
Yeah,
up.
like break the ice. Real good way.
The
That was
one,
a real good way.
the
to get
one
us
I
back
can
on our rhythm.
remember
Good- Nope.
is.
let's just keep it. All right.
I've already
let's
told
do-
it before.
Let's do. All right, I'll run them down. We'll do an honorable mentions. We'll get out of here. Eddie screenshotting a text convo and actually sending it to the person that you meant to be texting. I got to figure out the wordage there.
Probably for a lot of these.
Yeah. Going to a friend's house when the parents are fighting, walking in on someone's bathroom stall, watching a stand-up comic bomb the day the cut list is posted for sports.
It's good, Ed.
Tommy thinking someone is saying hi to you, someone making you watch an unfunny video, untimely boner, loitering between combos at a party, asking someone for money that they owe you, Carl handshake / fist bump mix up, asking a non-pregnant lady when she's due, walking in on parents having sex, diarrhea at your girlfriend's parents' house, leaving porn open on web browser, Chief asking someone for a plunger, someone's card getting declined, saying goodbye, and then walking in the same direction, accidentally liking someone's old IG pictures, coughing during a pandemic. White Sox Dave watching a sex scene with parents, walking side by side with stranger, accidentally farting in class, guessing baby's wrong gender, and joking about a sore subject. Tommy, you got any honorable mentions? Excuse me.
Yeah, I have a lot. I don't want to go. So some I had was getting a bad haircut and having to just eat it like at the end of it, where he's like, "How is it?" And you just gotta be like, "Oh, it's great, man." Like there's nothing you could do.
You can't
there.
just be like, this fucking sucks.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Talking to someone whose name you can't remember.
Yep.
I have this one is so specific, but I always think it's kind of awkward when like maybe at a fast food place they give you your order or they give you change back and like you just check to make sure that it's right in front of their face. Like that feels insulting to them. Like they're like, you think they're so stupid that they can't get the order right, that like I'm gonna check your work right now and make sure that you have like my Big Mac and fries in here.
Yes.
Those were a few. I think a lot of the other ones we had, continually making accidental eye contact with someone, maybe if you're like watching a TV at a bar, but you or just at a bar making accidental eye contact with someone over and over. Yeah, I think that's most of them.
That's
Okay.
good. Carl, you got any more?
Yeah, I was a student. I asked I was taking a Native American studies, Indian American studies at Illinois, and we have like a Indian American population and some sort of integration in the education side. It was a gen ed, and it was Thanksgiving break, and I asked the professor, who was like a registered Native, not registered, but I mean he was like a leader in his community. You know, he was like a fucking guy. And
He's
he
a
would-
First Nations
That's
guy.
right. You
Yeah.
told us on the Thanksgiving drive.
Yeah, and he would come in, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?" And he was like, "You mean Thanks-taking?" And I was
Yeah.
like, that's just the most awkward thing I've ever said to anybody. I'm so sorry. I wasn't even thinking.
Did he take it
that-
cool?
oh,
Did
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah,
he was like,
handled it
dude,
well.
no, we had a good relationship. He was like, no, I understand. You fucked that up.
Yeah.
But don't worry about it, dude. First group shower on a team. So
I
it's just
never
like,
had to do that. Not in
Really?
high school, not in
Same,
college.
I never did either.
I never had
was-
to.
And then I thought Dave would take this. Like, just getting caught staring at a good pair of tits.
Ah,
You know,
yeah.
just it's just so it's like you're staring on the train, she looks at you, and
Yeah.
that's just a 1-to-1 thing.
I don't know if that's ever happened to me.
And
Really?
then
I really don't. Nah, I can't think of anything off the top of my
I
head.
definitely thought this was getting taken. I didn't want to take it, but I'm surprised no one took like getting friend zoned. I remember I was like in my 20s and there was this girl I really liked. I was like late. I was old enough to be like, there's no such thing as a friend zone. Like, what do you? And you're like sitting there at the bar and she's like, yeah, we're really good friends. It's like, that's just so fucking awkward. And you're like, then maybe not so much in like text message, but it's like out in person when you're like clearly like, all right, I'm gonna hit on her. I'm gonna like, why don't we go out? Why don't we get a couple drinks and stuff? It's like, yeah, no, we're such good friends. Like that'd be awesome. I love when we get to spend like good guy friend time together. And you're like, oh,
I got very used to that, like to the point that it just like I was short forever, and then I was awkward forever. So like I was pretty comfortable in the friend zone. I would say it got to the point where I was like, of course, that's where I live.
I've been friend zoned plenty of times.
especially if it's still your friend too. Because friend zone gets thrown around a lot, where it's like, yeah, you're trying to bang this chick, or you're like trying to go out, and they're like, yeah, no, we'll be friends. But I'm saying like when you're in high school or college, and they're in that same circle of friends, and like you're
See 'em
trying to
all the
like
time.
make something happen, and then you still have to go to pregame.
And then probably then everybody knows.
oh,
you know,
fucking people
that's-
know in 5
yeah.
seconds, right?
Yeah,
She's like, did you hear what Eddie just said to me in the bathroom?
Tough.
tough.
Good. Chief,
What about?
anymore?
Yeah, I got similar to ones that you guys said. That's why I didn't draft him. But if you're like in a car, you're in public, and like a couple is fighting, like your friends, and they're like fighting with their girlfriend, they're fighting with their boyfriend, like that's fucking awkward. I had a buddy. We were gonna have like a little boat trip out in Fox River, and he skipped work. And his dad like called. His dad was the type to like call his employer, be like, "Was Carl supposed to work today?" Shouldn't have said his name. And his dad's like, well, day's canceled. So we're all just like sitting there in the driveway with like our bathing suits on and towels, like getting ready to go on the boat in the Fox River to like do a little water skiing or whatever. Day canceled. And it was like, fuck, that's awkward. I hate the happy birthday song.
I swear
So-
to God, I was down to that was the chalk pick I was talking about.
So that song, I just fucking hate it. My family adds, for some reason, a
they're
whole
one of
other
the-
verse. They add a whole
And
other
many
verse.
more to you.
No, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. It's like it's almost like a full separate song.
Like 99 bottles of beer.
Kinda in a way.
Yeah.
It's fucking
It's
terrible.
the worst 30 seconds of
does
the year.
suck.
It's awful. And then bumping into your ex or a girl that you used to hook up with your current girlfriend. So that like I had it,
And they sniff it out so fast.
there's just nothing you can do.
Nothing
So
you can do.
this is probably 2018 or 19. And there were, you know that Ricardo Enoteca, it's right across from
yes,
Lincoln
I've never
Park
been.
Zoo.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
great spot, but it's so small and the tables are like the size of your laptop
told me the
basically.
story.
and they jam everybody in, and I sit down and I'm across from my current girlfriend, and then in walks she wasn't like a real ex, but like we went out for maybe a month or two, and she sat like 18 inches from me next to my girl. It was like we're all at the same table, and it was
tough.
so awkward.
How did you?
Just
you told
that's
me-
I hate when tables aren't properly spaced as well. That's an awkward.
that happens
situation.
at a lot of like
Yeah.
small.
Oh, two
Well-
people sitting next. Fuck, I should have taken this. Two people sit next to each other on the same side of a table
Yes.
at dinner. That is
Yes.
so awkward.
Yeah.
That is awkward. Yeah.
That's good. Good ones, Chief. White
Yeah.
Sox Dave, honorable mentions?
I had happy birthday. I just think that's so awkward. I had one off the top of my head. I wish I would have drafted as soon as we started honorable mentions. And now it slipped my brain. No, I think we touched.
I
on
got a couple here. For some reason, obviously buying Plan B is super awkward. Like you just never get over it, you know, or like condoms, whatever
All right.
it is.
Can I
Like,
tell you a funny story?
sure, go for it.
I dated this girl who is like a hypochondriac,
Yeah.
and she like convinced herself that she had HIV. It was like she never had it. It was like preposterous that she even thought it, because she dated some like, I don't know, pervert guy. And I went in to CVS
Pervert guy.
to buy there's like an at-home HIV test.
Really? Was it awkward?
Because it's not
Yes.
like on display. So I'm like, you check the website, it says they have it in stock. You walk all around, you can't find it. So eventually you have to go to the manager and be like, one HIV test, please.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's fucking.
And
It's,
it shouldn't be. Like, yeah, I don't know why you gave me a look. Like,
That's
awkward.
so awkward. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to say what I want to say right now.
Say it. You get it Amazon.
Am I immune?
Yes.
I'm immune. You promise I'm immune.
You have full immunity granted from me.
Okay, Carl. Ed, I need to hear from you too.
Verify, Ed.
What about?
It's not. It's kind of.
I
This is how
Tommy
I. Okay, I got 2 of 4. That's fine with me.
You're immune.
Whenever I know I'm in that situation, I wait till they're like at their own apartment or gone. I'll be like, hey, we were kind of fucked up last night. I wasn't wearing a condom. You should probably go get Plan B. I never do it myself because I'm not doing.
See,
this
I'm the opposite. I'm like, I will make sure, like, I get it. Like, because what if they don't do it, Dave? Then you're fucked.
Sounds like you're like slipping in their food.
No.
Yeah, you
I'm
make
like,
Plan
I'm like,
B
well,
breakfast
I
omelet?
also think the dude should pay
Put it
for
in a
it.
piece of roast beef.
No.
Oh, Tommy.
No, not like
Pick it over a
not
cut of
roast beef
meat.
like vagina.
No.
Not Hope Solo.
Yeah, no. Oh, we're going
What
on.
is
damn.
wrong with you?
But that's what I would rather make sure that, like, hey, like I made all the steps to make sure it happened,
Fine.
rather than like
Yeah.
White Sox Dave, like take a chance, be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, you know,
I'll Venmo you.
yeah. Then next thing you know, fucking 9 months later, a kid pops out with a fucking White Sox flat brim on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like it'd be a bad situation.
Hair up to his eyebrows.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So buying Plan B / condoms. Inappropriate joke during a wedding speech. That always is kind of
Ooh,
weird.
that's a good one.
Getting caught ditching someone, you know, when you were a kid, that was a thing where it's like, maybe only one person could sleep over. And like there was another guy there, and it's like, what do you do? And it's like,
that's
you
what I was
go
gonna
inside,
say.
I don't know, you hide in the tube slide, whatever you do.
Dude.
It was always awkward.
Yeah.
Just like I have a finite amount of friends that I'm allowed. Like I allow myself maybe 20. If
That's
you're
high.
like that is probably high too.
Yeah.
Like I don't want more than just a handful of friends. There's been situations with guys, they'll text me like, hey, like you want to go to the Sox game? You want to go to a movie? And they clearly want to be friends. And I'm just like, dude, my quota's full right now. Like I can't have any more friends.
Yeah.
But you just like, oh, sorry, man. Like I'm staying in tonight. Like I just don't want to hang out with you, man.
Yeah,
I do
You're
feel like
one of
you
my
bring that on
buddies
yourself, though.
One of my buddies get married in September. I'll give you a call then, because then he's out.
Yeah, once he gets married, he's
yeah, he's gonna
get-
get somebody else to
we're
fill
gonna
the
hang him in
quota.
the rafters. Yeah.
And I like you can't be a dick and just be like, yo, man, like we're not friends. Because it's usually like a nice dude.
Yeah,
I just don't want to be friends.
Were you to say, Tommy?
I feel like this is similar to like trying to shake someone. Like maybe you're with a group and there's one guy who maybe you ran into, or you're trying to go to a next place and not have them come with you.
Yes.
And maybe you do the fake leave, or it's like, oh yeah, we're all heading home, and then you fake go home, try to go to a new bar or something.
Yes.
don't
Sort of
invite
did-
Tico.
Super awkward. Super awkward.
Wait, did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was.
You didn't watch the Dave
Yeah,
Portnoy
Mr.
show?
After Show.
I watched the last one.
I got a couple more here, and then we'll get out of here. One of the worst things too, there should be a trial, there should be a jury. Like when you walk into a bathroom and it stinks and you get framed for it, but you know it wasn't you and it was the person before you, and you walk out and you get framed. I don't know. There should be
I mean, is there
So
such thing as
awkward.
shit that doesn't stink, Ed?
no, but I'm saying like
I
if
know.
it
There
wasn't
are
you, you
degrees.
just go in there to pee.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
It's
You know?
like,
Yeah.
Like if fucking intern Lance
Danny.
bombed up the bathroom, and I went in after him, and then instantly after me it was Erica, and it's like Erica thought I took the shit when it was intern Lance. Like that's always awkward, and it's like unjust. It's wrong.
Lance.
Lance the stinky shitter.
Sorry, Lance.
He does probably have smelly farts. Look at that face. Look at that little fucking smelly fart face.
Yeah, and my sorry, last one here. I don't know. It's kind of awkward when you bring maybe this a duplicate dip to the Super Bowl party, and everyone eats the other one. And not
This is a bad one. This is bad. Stop. End your list. Oh, 2 buffalo chickens. How awkward.
Yeah, but like if everyone eats the other one, it's like, oh man, and mine's pretty good.
So I think I had a draft like this at Thanksgiving, or I think it was a Thanksgiving draft, but it was like the try my dip, the try my dip girl.
guy,
Did
yeah.
you try it?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Tommy, thank you for doing this. We support you in your awkward moments now and in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I hope I was awkward.
Yeah, well, it was good. Your internet connection didn't help at all, so you got that going.
Yeah,
for you.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I mean, the internet at the New York office for some reason the last few weeks has just been horrible.
Yeah, it's awkward
That's
for all
what Pete
biz
was
Pete.
saying when he was out
He
here.
was saying that.
Pretty awkward for Pete. Mm-hmm. But all right, yeah, and thank you to the listeners. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube and all that stuff. So that's all we got for today. We'll see you tomorrow.